And so we begin. We begin once again with the Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta with the triple berserker Black Mage Run. We're heading to Zizat's, however it's pronounced, his wonderful fleet. Zizat. So he has a plan. I forgot to turn down those back down, so let's do that, although it hasn't caused us any problems yet. Said below deck. If we talk around, well, we learned the fleet's a decoy, but we don't know the specific plan, and really, once we're here, there's nothing to do. Except rest. And get Battle on the Break bridged. You know what that means, right? Battle on the Break Bridge only means one thing. Well, there's the Windrake. He's over there doing something. There he is. Greg is back. The only monster you need to fight is this one. And he's not honestly anything to speak of that's special. He's a gobbledygook. They're not particularly strong. They're meant to be the fodder between you and Gilgamesh. Well, we're here. Oh no! While we're here, I'm going to do something that might seem silly and put the death sickles on everybody. Including Ferris. Hi, Greg. Like I said, we're doing this for a reason. Because this is Gilgamesh. Again. He has 8,888 HP, and I just broke his script. Because he was supposed to summon an ally, Enkidu, who has 4,000 health, but I murdered him with an axe to the face before he could summon Enkidu. This is how Death Sickles are so... This is how Death Sickles break the game. That was the script you get when you kill Enkidu before Gilgamesh. He never got to summon Enkidu. Thank goodness for the Windrake, which still does not have a name. Regardless, with Greg now beaten, and Enkidu dead, I'm going to now unequip those death sickles. They are never going to be used again. Well, they may end up being used at some point, but not for some time. Because there are reasons why. Very good reasons why. Anyway, with that all done, I believe all we have to do is meet Zizat over here. For the secret will be revealed. As to why this fleet was here to begin with. He was building a tunnel underneath the barrier towers, and he had a submarine. If you need to rest, you just enter down here. And everyone falls asleep on the chairs. And this is important, because there is a rare drop from one of the enemies in this first room that most Fiesta groups will want to grab. Welcome to Barrier Tower. Hope you saved beforehand. Or, if you're smart, you can always save right here. Now, the reason most people want to grind in this first room is off this guy here. He leaves a rare drop, which is a reflect ring. This is also the reason I don't have the death rings, the death sickles on. It's because they cast instant death, much like the Poison Axe just cast poison, which is not as big a deal, since I have an extreme amount of antidotes. So, if you want your reflect rings, good luck. Most people want 4 of them. I kind of don't. In that ring, that over there, I believe is a flame ring. I'm gonna go check it out. But you also don't want to cast magic on the Reflect Knight because, as expected, he has Reflect on him. You don't want your magic just getting thrown around, and my goodness, these things... Do these things have a constant thing with poison? I don't know. Galuf? Apparently not. I'm just getting very unlucky with these Reflect Knights. This is why we needed a pharmacy. I could always use just the mage mashers. They perform equivalent to the axes. But they're not necessarily necessary. This thing needs to die now, before it does its signature move. This thing, like most things, it can blind. And there it goes. Everyone now wears sunglasses. Except for Butts, and for some reason Ferris. I don't think Ferris has anything special equipped. It must be the Gaia gear, or maybe the hat. Regardless, blind makes your already unreliable berserkers even worse. Okay, this is the Red Dragon. Red Dragon is evil. Red Dragon is undead. Red Dragon is fire. Red Dragon has just about already killed Galuf. Red Dragon also has a move called Atomic Ray. If that sounds familiar, and it should, if you know what's coming in the future, you know why that's familiar. Red Dragon also has a ton of health. Okay, it hasn't... Why did it kill Galuf? Oh, excuse me, it has the blood sword. I thought... Well, you can steal from them flame rings. That's the only source of free flame rings in the game if you have a thief. We don't have a thief. So instead, we just get to move on. Butts is still nearly indestructible. Bone mail is just so good. If you have a party member who can use it, use it. This is a dumb party and I'm leaving. That is a dumb enemy layout and I'm leaving. They can't make me stay. That is an even dumber party layout. Again, due to my level, I don't actually have to do any actual grinding, except for poor Galuf. This is much more lenient. Much more lenient of a enemy group. As you can see, Bio is just powerful, which is what is so helpful. I think it's missing the reflect is because it's trying to hit Butts, and Butts being basically an undead, he is immune to that. I suppose a reflect ring could be useful if I wanted to never heal a party member ever, which Butts is pretty much that person anyway. But I'm not going to waste my time just sitting here grinding them when I don't have a real reason to. Okay, there's nothing over there. They hide a lot of corridors. And the level design gets a bit, I wouldn't say worse, but it's definitely not nearly as good. Not straightforward for sure. Late game as it is in the early game. Oh yes. Lena is now asleep and old. And stopped, I believe. She is all those things. Time slip is a nasty move. Magnet, by the way, if you haven't guessed, throws whatever party member is in the back row and gets targeted by it into the front row. It is inconvenient, but not the worst thing in the world to happen. We are approaching the end. Oh, level trickers. Those things have abilities. Just a quick check to make sure everyone's got their fire ring attached. Oh dear. Gravity. Fortunately, they decided to then attack the Berserker. Most parties don't really have a reason to keep a Berserker. If you have a Berserker or anyone in bone mail, you don't have a reason to keep them in bone mail. But we do. It's the only way we can heal them is with fire. So we will do so. Oh, the poison has finally kicked in. Just at the end. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Attempt number 2, I guess, of this. Again, I only have one character member character of the party that I can control. And here's the atomic ray. Oh right, because we have flame rings, we are immune to it. I forgot. I made Red Dragon a joke. He can't even hurt us. He just gave us a free party heal. The things I do for this Fiesta. Gold hairpin. Most people would use that. I would like to, but I really don't have a reason to. And the reason for that is, well, the only way we can heal is with fire. So, and since, well, we can't heal, we can heal with fire, but that's the only thing we can do. There's really nothing else we can. We are just going to have to deal with the fact that reflect rings are useless. Gold hairpins are useless. The elf mantles, which would be very, very, very useful, are useless. On the other hand, poison rods are not. Because Bio, unlike all the other attack spells, does not have a second or third form. It is a spell I horribly, and I believe a lot of people severely underestimated its usefulness. And now we have a problem. This is going to be our sandworm. Say hello to Atmos. He has a gimmick. His gimmick is, he has almost 20,000 health. And his gimmick, he casts Comet till someone dies. And that someone is random. And we just lost. He draws them into oblivion. And we have to deal 20,000 damage before he wipes the party, which he's likely to do after he summons in Galuf and Ferris. Thanks, Atmos. Gravity. Insult to injury. Basically, Lena's going to have to sword dance at least a couple more times. The other way, you could possibly kill Atmos if you can outlast his 10,000 MP, which you're unlikely to. It's literally, with triple Berserker, either kills the Black Mage, or it just takes forever. Basically, I have no way of dealing with Atmos, other than to sit here and let the Berserkers try and kill it, and hope he doesn't kill multiple people the first time he kills someone. He's immune to death, so we can't even death him. Lena just killed him for us. That dancing dagger is a brilliant thing. You really should consider having it and using it. Not the greatest dagger, but when you have a level 35 Berserker, we just killed Atmos, and I didn't do anything past the first turn. The Black Varus died. And thus, there's just one Warrior of Dawn left. 2 if you count Kelgar, but he's pretty far along at this point. and somehow flying down means we're not caught in the explosion? I don't quite get how it works, but I'm pretty sure explosions don't work like that. But the barrier around Exdeath's castle is now gone. We can just walk up and fight Exdeath, I guess. Now, this scene here is kind of a gimmick. If we walk up and talk to Galuf, it says just a minute. They mean it. But we've now acquired a new piece of transportation. From Windrake to submarine. Which can surface at any point possible. Plus, the fleet is gone. There's Windrake. We are going to rest in the submarine. If I can figure out how. I thought there was a way you could rest in the submarine. Apparently, I am wrong. Regardless, Sage Guido's cave is off to the left. There's not really much to do with this submarine. There's a couple of places you can go, a summon you could get. Really, there's not much point in it. At least, not unless there's something you really wanted. You know. You can see a female chocobo. And somehow Lena won us that Atmos fight. I was not expecting that, to be perfectly honest. And I believe, yeah, we will be perfectly served with these poison axes. Anyway, we're now in not Saint, wow. Sage Guido's cave. These guys can absorb each other. They're also not particularly strong, I believe. Apparently they are. But they can also do that off of us. There's really not much to say. Most enemies in here are not particularly horrible. I mean, they're bad, but they're not horrible. Lena needs to learn to stop trying to absorb MP. She doesn't use it. Right, bone mail. Butts is immune to vampire because he's undead. Just like with anything else undead, you try and suck its blood, it sucks your blood. And I guess they dropped the most useless item in the game. Potions. Now this here is a bit of a maze, kind of. I forget what's all is where. There are items and things to get. This is important. This is progress. And yes, there are encounters in this room. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. Galuf is a little behind on levels from where he should be, because we are rapidly approaching the end. This forward progress, I guess it's the upper right. I need to remember that for on the way back, because as with everything in here, we are gonna have to traverse it backwards as well. Ooh. I thought I kept Ferris has equip axes on, so she's just that weak from the back row, I guess. And I don't know why, but that works. This guy can become a great many things. He also has a great drop for white mages, if you can kill him before he changes or between changes. However, I'm not apparently strong enough, so he can become a Galakat or Kate Sith. I'm pretty sure that's a translation thing, specifically for the references to Final Fantasy VII. But he does that. And I don't recall if the damage transfers over. It does. He drops a Staff of Light, which is an item that, when used, can cast Holy. Problem is, it's a rod, not a staff. Oh, a staff, not a rod. Which means we can't use it because we don't have anyone who can use a staff. Also not very useful. They're a bit of a drawn out fight, so they're not particularly great. He tried to toad our Berserker. He did toad the Berserker. He toaded Bonezerker. He toaded Bonezerker. Regardless, there's not much more to this place. It is not a full-on dungeon. In fact, I think this is it. I think we're at the end. This is a, we're close, at least. And like I said, they're useful if you have a rod wielder. We don't. And here we are at the end. But sees a turtle. Always follow the turtle. This is a turtle. Butts, what are you doing? Leave the... No, Butts. Turtles are not to be beat on. Butts. No, you've got the other two interested. No. Butts, don't poke the turtle. Especially when it talks. Don't mess with the sage turtle, Butts. That causes problems. Butts. The briny beard of Neptune. I might just have to start using that. The briny beard of Neptune. Well, no one ever said that Sage wasn't human, but no one ever said he was human. X-Death is a tree. The trees are hostile, but not because of Ents. Instead, because of their trees. But since we're going to be escorted by a escort of sorts, we'll be fine. So, that being done, we now leave. And we are now 2 dungeons away from the end of World 2. World 3 is another one we'll be able to rush through, but at some point I'm going to want to stop and grind. Mainly because we're not endgame level. I mean, I'm not going to feel comfortable taking on the final bosses until easily mid-40s, maybe 50. Mainly because we've got 3 Berserkers. Berserkers are not known for their concentrated damage output. Although with the Dancing Dagger, as you saw earlier, as we all saw earlier, Atmos, well, did not stand a chance. I did mention that there were encounters in this room. The game just decided not to spawn any during the whole time. I forget what's in here. I think an item? No, that's just a dead end. Wow. I thought there may have been something in there. There had to have been, I thought. I guess not. The heavy belt rock goes back where it came from. Now this, if my memory serves, there's a bonus dungeon, because it's the advanced version, the Game Boy Advance version. There are jobs you can only get post-game. And there's a very similar puzzle, I think, in that dungeon. They also added bonus bosses on top of the bonus bosses that are already in the game. But we're not going to be able to take on Bonus Boss 2 or any of the post-post bosses. That's just not going to happen. Anyway, rest it up. Now, we must... Let's see, the Forest of Moor is only accessible by going around. The Forest of Moor is this giant forest off to the left. and it's safest to travel underwater. Due to the fact there are no enemy encounters underwater, thankfully. Final Fantasy VI, I'm looking at you, I think, in certain spots at least, I'm aware of. But that doesn't mean we're going to be out of the woods yet, because there's a simple gimmick to the Forest of Moor, and one minor, very, very not fair move the game is going to try and pull on us here in Moor. But we'll get to that shortly. For now, the city of Moor, in the Forest of Moor, diamond equipment. All new diamond equipment. We probably wanted the plate instead. Oh well, we have the things to go around. Actually, the armor is better than the plate. I mean, the plate brings our equip weight down, but we're just berserkers. There's no reason to worry about that. But anyway, notice what it says. Resistant to lightning. This is going to be handy, but not right now. We still have all our rods, which is amazing. I haven't had to break any. We had someone who could use a sword. That's actually a pretty decent one. But unfortunately, we don't have a need for any of that gear. Death sickles are back where they belong. Which is, I believe, not on the berserkers, because we don't really need them on the berserker. And as usual, a piano. The piano skills are getting pretty good, but you're getting pretty good. I don't think we've missed a piano, which is very good. And I think we may finally have access the Aga spells. Look at that MP cost. Bio only costs 16. Bio is a significant MP savings. Air knives. I'm gonna buy a couple of those. Not because they're particularly useful, although I believe I will replace the 2 poison axes with air knives. Mage mashers, I'm keeping around just in case. Poison axes, though, useless. We now have 3 elven mantles. If I could find a reason to try and do a dodge zerker. If I could make a dodge zerker. I mean, even with all this health, they can still be killed. Although the equipment is getting pretty good. I mean, look at this. They're sending rabbits at us. The forest really doesn't like us already. It really doesn't like us. It's now sent out the mini-magicians and the mammons. But we do have an answer to that. And this is why breaking a rod, being able to snap them, is so good. We could cast that by breaking a rod for 750 gil in World 1. Yeah, snapping a rod is just infinitely more useful than anything. The Force is letting us in, but it is keeping the pressure from the enemies on us. Because while it says we're allowed in, it's not saying we're welcome. I believe the Gala Jellies will, absorb that. Fortunately, that's what the Berserkers are for. Useless money. Always explore. I've emphasized this every dungeon, but yes, the free items, including the most important item we're going to get, is going to be amazing. It's going to be a little bit, but not much before we get that item. And it's missable, and the fact you can miss this one item, and the game knows it as well. That's the worst part. The game knows you can miss it, and they did it on purpose. It's just a crying shame. Fortunately, as with most dungeons in this game, they're actually pretty short. This was a very well designed, fairly short dungeon, fairly short game. Well, dungeon layouts at least. Lack level 5. Which means, while we could run out of MP, we're unlikely to. I know there are hidden items around here somewhere, I just don't recall where. Oh yes, and remember, X-Death is supposedly in this forest. He's looking for something. And I don't believe anything in this forest is immune to instant death, so we could be running with the death scythes if we really wanted to. But you are going to want to get these items for reasons which I'm not going to explain yet. What's really slightly frustrating is we don't have the ability to just target everything, including us, with our spells. I mean, it makes sense, but it's, as you'll see, based on the amount of health we can just absorb from that, it is a bit unfortunate. Now, fortunately, the enemies appear to be rather stupid, and they try and attack the Berserkers rather than the poor Ferris down there. Everyone's got daggers, which means they hit a lot more than Berserkers normally would. And the Black Mage is now back up to alpha striking capability again, which is always good to see. I did always miss it. I think the way forward is forward, the direction we were originally heading. But our last Faraga. Let's make it count. And give Ferris the ability to cast another one. I have ethers. I wanted to use them there. So far, Forest of Moor has been pretty straightforward. I don't believe there's much more left to it. They might actually kill Galuf here, which would be unfortunate. It depends on what the Berserkers do. But Galuf has now broken that 4th digit. Those shields, which are very good shields, are proving to be so helpful. Once again, more ethers for Ferris. Now, we could possibly do some grind here, if we had a reason to. But we're already doing... This is basically a grind. It's a very slow grind compared to what we did earlier when we did 10 hours of in-game time and 2. Which is what gave us the original overpowered party. Minus Galuf, who is getting closer and closer to true Berserker status. 9,500 gil. And another tree. No reason to attack these imps. Just let them go. And more items. Overall, Moor has been a very nice dungeon. It's been not too long. I've had much longer. And it feels paced well. And it feels on point. And this is the most important thing in the world with this dungeon. Oh great, we've now lost the ability to control our only controllable party member. You are going to want to save right here, right now. Because I'm going to do something that seems counterintuitive. Everyone gets a death sickle, including Ferris. And we don't need it yet, but I'm doing this in preparation for what is coming up. Because, as you can see, Ferris can just kind of one-shot most of the parties. Not all of them. But most things don't have that kind of health. The kind of health needed to withstand it. Elixir. A worm. A morning star, the cousin of Flail. Very important. The very important cousin to Flail. Here goes. This is why you wanted to grab every item you could. I said Exdeath was in the forest. I'm not kidding. He just set the forest on fire. This is the most important chest in the game. Grab it. The Aegis Shield is amazing. It doesn't look it. But see that absorbs magic spells? Very important. You go on Galuf. You never come off. If you don't grab this now. The Moogle is, by the way, in the lower left-hand corner, just created a hole for us. If you do not grab this now, you will lose the ability to have the Aegis until the end game. You can grind for it there, but you don't ever want to do that, because it is going to be replaced in that chest with a flame shield, which is it's basically a flame ring in shield form. But you don't ever want to do that. By the way, this Moogle is going to stand here until the fire stops. It stopped. See, now you could get the chest and it would be a flame shield, which you do not want. By the way, the mini magicians are really only useful, a danger when they have mana. I believe they start out with no mana, which is what makes them so amazingly useless, and why they're not a threat until they are a threat. Who knows what was in this chest? It is just ash. Free wizard's hat. I don't believe there's anything of importance in anything here. Just more things to cast Faraga on. Flame Tongue, Fire Elemental Sword. Somewhat useful, really useless. And there it is, the Guardian Tree. Whatever it seals, whatever it holds inside, we need it to let us in. Even though this place literally just almost burned to the ground. Thanks to probably Exdeath, and holy crap, that tree can manipulate the land. Holy crap, that's a tree. That is a tree. Here we go. It is whatever's inside is inside. Yes, whatever's sealed in here are those, and they're not happy. This is why I equipped the Death Scythes. These 4 things, which are unlabeled, by the way, are not immune, fortunately, to instant death. However, which is why I equipped the Death Sickles, because these things have 7,777 health, and they get angry if you damage them too much. So the basic strategy is we instant death all 4 of them. I like how they're unlabeled. It's like, we don't know what these are. We don't even have an analog from our world. 1 is down. And they don't revive, so they're unlike Purebellos. Which is good. Death Sickles do a lot of good. So far we've avoided drawing their wrath. They are elementally themed, these 4, so that might give you some idea of what's going on. And it's that one that's alive. Of course it is. Because we've angered it at this point. We have angered the wind thing. And it's dead. Now, whatever's in there will be revealed. The Seal Guardians are dead. And guess who was here the whole time? Just off screen. Look at that, this world has crystals too. Their metaphysical world is sustained just like ours. And they kept Exdeath's power in check. Much like our 4 crystals did. And now they're his to command. Much like a genie. There's so much we didn't know. So much we couldn't know. Because no one told us. Because everyone was kept in the dark. Everyone kept everyone in the dark about the true secrets of this world. Which doesn't make any degree of logic. Why didn't you tell anyone about this? Oh yes, the other 3. Crilly. You silly girl. She's only concerned about her grandpa, not the other 3. But Galuf will not take the harming of his granddaughter. Sitting down. Oh no, he just shattered a crystal. Why would he do something like that? And now, mano a mano. This is Exdeath. We could technically kill him. But he's immune to instant death. I must say, I prefer the GBA's version of this song to this one. Just that dancing track in the background is not very good. But as you can see, Berserker Galuf just lives. And these are most of the moves X-Death in an actual fight would have. Oh, you just gave him his health back, X-Death. How sporting of you. He is missing a couple of moves, but we'll worry about that when we worry about that. There it is. That move is going to murder us so horribly. The ultimate 3 magics. What have you done, Galuf? You have saved us, but what cost? There are only 3 crystals now. You shattered one of them. You've made him run. But at what cost? The cost. Was Galuf himself. This is, I think, the only scene in a Final Fantasy game where they reference all the things you can do to bring a party member back from near death. And none of it works. This is a cutscene death, and no one understands why. It shouldn't do this. He should be alive. But he's not. Galuf, the last major Dawn warrior. Aside from Kelgar, because everyone forgets about Kelgar, has passed on. Leaving Krylie, heir to Castle Ball, and 3 warriors of light. Not 4. Only 3 blessed by the crystals. Not 4. But the job's not done. There must be 4. There must always be 4. And then the 3 were made 4. Welcome, Krylie, to the 4 warriors of light. You've never been to our world. You don't know anything about it. But yet, you must fight for your world, for ours, for the world that Exdeath is trying to destroy. Not 1 world, but now 2. Thankfully, the Windrake is ever responsive and is our convenient plot device. Not the submarine, the Windrake. It's a good thing Butts got over his fear of heights very quickly and very early. It's also very fortunate the Windrake has learned to fly over mountains because Moor here is surrounded mostly by mountains. Look at that. That is just, good map editing. Anyway, currently, we need to put ourselves back into Fiesta state. So Krylie, grab your fox skin, your air knife, you get your dancing dagger, and you get your air knife, and your dodge stabber. And we have one last location to go to. But first, we need to stock up, because this is going to be the end. I forget if there were shops in Surgate. There had to have been at some point. Oh yeah, everyone, by the way, Zizat's dead. Yeah, you guys, your king is dead. Yeah. You guys better figure out what you're gonna do about that. Yeah, you guys better figure out what's going on with that. Yeah, are you guys gonna do a republic, some other type of monarchy, possibly even a democracy? Maybe you're gonna try some currency-based, not currency-based, money-based monarchy, democracy, republic, merchant republic, maybe. You know, you guys gotta figure out these silly things like that. I mean, if you don't, I mean, what are you gonna do? You gonna become an oligarchy? I mean, you guys have to figure out what you're doing, right? Might as well max out on as many items as we can. This way we're never wanting for items. For restoratives, at least. And even 20 of those. Some more of those. And tents are useless to us, but so is the Morning Star. The Goliath Tonic. The Ash. A Wizard's Hat. Sadly. Cryly. What did I say about the Aegis to Galuf? You take it and it never comes off you. And we still have plenty of money for... we have plenty of Phoenix Downs, actually. Gotta be something I can spend all this money. Oh, where'd all that money go? Whoops, slip of the finger, I guess. It's all gone. All that money, all gone. Whoops. Whoops. Clumsy me. Anyway, there's nothing else for us to do in this world. Literally. Except Exdeath. His castle. Now, while I gush about this game's writing because it is, for a early, for lack of a better term, Final Fantasy, it's the 5th one. So it's not early, but it's early-ish. For an early-ish Final Fantasy, its writing is good, and that could just be a great translation. But there are bits, and that just feel like everyone else had this great, wonderful moment. And then... oh, look! Castle Ball did try an attack. They just died trying. Nothing we really want here. Nothing we really want to fight either. We are in correct Fiesta formation even. I say that. Reflect mages. They're pretty bad. If it weren't for, Bone Zerker there. We're basically immune to most of the elements. We're immune to ice and fire. Lightning is the only one that's a bit questionable, but it happens. It hurts a little. Anyway. as I was saying, there are bits that feel kind of tacked on. Remember how I keep mentioning Kelgar as kind of the forgotten Dawn Warrior? Because he never did anything. Even Dorgan did things. Stella, for one. They all had their arcs. Except Kelgar. He got shoved around, and he was basically dead man walking as soon as Butts shoved him through that door. He didn't even get an arc. He didn't get to do anything. This is all he gets to do. This is his arc. He gets to lie in bed and die. That's all. What a waste of a character. This is, like I said, as much as I enjoy this game, and its writing is just spot on in so many places, Kelgar is a waste. A waste of what could have been a great character. A wolfman. Galuf never told her about Kelgar. One thing to note, Exdeath is a tree. Most housing is made out of wood. Exdeath makes his out of living flesh and bone. Welcome to Meat Fortress. The Living Fortress. I mean, it would only make sense. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. I mean, we make our things out of wood, and it's disturbing to make a house out of flesh. But Exdeath is a tree. Making a place out of wood would be like making it out of flesh. So he literally makes a house out of flesh, but makes it appear as wood. Let's ignore the Hellraiser, which is a rabbit. This is an ice shield. Basically an ice ring, which could be useful in the right hands, but the problem is we have reflect rings. We don't really need that. At least, not now. Not until we want to be able to absorb ice. And see, our good friend Double Lizard is back as Twin Lizard. This is Meat Fortress, and sadly, the Super Nintendo backgrounds are a lot because the aspect ratio is larger on the Super Nintendo version. This background in particular has some wonderful moving, pulsating bits that on the GBA screen you just don't have. There are secrets and ways to sneak through this place a little bit faster. You should probably take them. If you've got a thief class, you can see them. Black warlocks, don't mess with them. They are not worth the trouble. We have to. This is a damaged floor. It hurts. A little. The floor is a bit corrosive. These are adamantite golems. They hurt. I'm going to do some quick healing and run. There are items here you could probably want, but there's really no reason to. No reason you really want anything in here, or at least this party. Because nothing is of consequence. I mean, we're 3 berserkers and a black mage. There's really nothing else we could really need. Oh, that thing has that move. It can just instantly kill someone. That lands on butts, he's dead. Just keep dancing, Lena. And eye drops, which sadly don't get used. So now I have to waste a pair. Some drops on poor Criley there. There are some items you might want. There's, I believe, nothing, however, we really need. So, oh, missed it. This is Abductor. He's not particularly complicated or tough. He drops a useful bow if you have a ranger. If you don't, well, here's a second chance of fighting him. I meant to run that through Criley. This is unfortunate. Never mind, Lena kills him one shot. Okay, this is starting to get a little obnoxious. But the most important thing to note, you cannot confuse a berserk... Really? You cannot confuse a berserker. So every enemy that uses Confuse, there's a 3 out of 4 chance it's not gonna do anything. My word. At least the enemies are, you know, getting weaker and weaker. Gives Criley a chance to catch up on not even anything. Ah, finally the save point. Let's use a cottage, and then save. For we will be wrapping up World 3 as quickly as possible. Here on the 8th floor. We're getting closer. We have to be. Oh, remember our good friend, Red Dragon. He exists here too. Good friend, Red Dragon. With his healing atomic rays, Nuclear radiation. So warming. Oh, you can just feel it on a good summer's day. Just the sheer amount of radiation pouring in. Slightly changing your cell structure just a little bit. And that was Aegis going off, which is why Aegis is so good. He's also a pain in the butt to run from. This is often why it's just easier to just attack him. Because running from him is very hard. Crowley's now, she's closer in level to what we expected her to be. If you can hit level 30 by the end of World 2 here, you're normally doing pretty good. Now, in a normal non-Fiesta run, you have a lot more things at your disposal. We're not doing a non-Fiesta run. But you could. You could do non-Fiesta run. It's actually a pretty good, it's actually a really good game if you don't. But you don't get to see the gimmicks of like why Berserker is so good. You would never have a reason to. I mean, a party that you can't control. Why would you have 3 Berserkers in a party? That is just not something you would ever do. I mean, your options are so limited. Why would you ever have a party of mostly Berserker that you can't control? And yet, as we've seen, this game is so finely balanced that it doesn't matter almost what your party is, composition is. You have a way to deal with pretty much everything. Even if the answer is grind 2 endgame levels in World 1 to fight Sandworm with 4 Berserkers. Okay, these guys are getting on my nerves. I can't run from anything, apparently. See, that Aegis Shield would be paying off dividends if I had a reason to stick it on a non-Berserker. Or even away. Ah, Power Staff. I forget actually what this is. It's something I can't use, right, because I use rods, not staffs. The specifics of it. That's a useful summon. You should pick it up if you have a chance. It's Carbuncle. Carbuncle is great. Yellow dragons. These things are not so fun. These things are the yellow, the lightning equivalents of red dragon. They're a lot weaker, but they also shoot lightning. Which does that. Which is not what we want. There's a reason we have all these high potions. We don't have any reason to continue to explore. Now here is going to be where my controls are going to betray me. Because if you noticed, I just kind of go careening sometimes. There's a very specific floor pattern you have to get in order to get to here. And then you have to repeat it. To the right is a twin lance. Wait. A useful item if you ever wanted to use it and had a thief or ninja to do so. We have none of those. Twin Lance is a single weapon that attacks twice in a single round. So you combine that with the ninja's dual wield, and it is... You're now getting 3 attacks. Twin Lance is amazing. It is also one of the few ways to proc the abilities of a very specific knife we're going to be getting much later in World 3 that otherwise would be rather useless. We don't have that, so it's entirely possible that we are just going to just use it as a normal weapon. Okay, you guys are getting on my nerves. Okay. One step at a time, and we're good. We've made it to the second point of healing. And then we only went through like 23 potions. That's not bad. Geomancer. The only reason to have a Geomancer are those floors. Otherwise, well... Oh, good, and everyone's not at multiples of 3. Good. Yet. A treasure chest that's empty. Why would that be? Oh, hi, Greg. Yes, Gilgamesh. Welcome to another... You just made us tiny. Why would you make us tiny, Git? Greg, I'm gonna bio you now to death. Tiny mages. This is Gilgamesh. In his latest form. Fortunately, or unfortunately. This form is not horrible. He has some health. The specific amount is 55,000 health. That sounds like a lot. But like Soul Cannon before him, we're not gonna have to fight all 55,000. He also has 2,000 mana, so you could theoretically wait him out. But this is an expository fight. This is Greg. He feels a certain camaraderie. He enjoys this. He enjoys our fights. He enjoys meeting. He likes clashing blades. He loves the whole, you're the heroes of light. Ah, have at thee type of situation. X-Death puts him in. Even Greg understands the, implications of just fighting X-Death. It's not fun. X-Death is his boss. Oh, really? Oh, better this one than any of the Berserkers. Bio now is pretty much useless. Yeah, enough banter. Like men and ladies who dress like men. Welcome to the morphed Gilgamesh. He has 60,000 health, and nothing really special about him. Now, these Gilgamesh fights do serve a minor purpose. That purpose would be... he drops, well, it doesn't drop, he can be stolen from and drops the Genji gear. Genji gear is some of the best gear you can get. So, if you have a thief, steal from him before X death, during the morphed phase, before X death starts talking. Goodbye, Greg. We will see you again. And now we have the Excalibur. A very, very poor weapon that is very useless. And no one has any reason to have it unless you've got a way around its gimmick. And there are ways around the gimmick. Just, you wouldn't have a reason to experiment with it because it's quite useless. Unless you were doing a Fiesta run. Again, this is what makes the Fiesta so interesting. You get to see all these little things they planned and stuck in ways to get around a very specific rule set. And you don't have a reason to, normally in game, to try and be like, and if I do tweak this here and tweak that there, there's just no reason. Here we are, folks. The top of Exdeath's living meat fortress. This is going to be awfully difficult. Now was the real... Oh, did you really, Exdeath? Ah. He did. Once Ferris dies, we are dead. He has 32,768 health. And he has the exact same amount of mana. Vacuum Wave is very dangerous, especially with our healer on the fritz, as she will be very shortly. If you had any helpful magics, he will continually dispel them. Fortunately, it appears Aegis, and thus Krylie, have drawn his attention. The problem with Aegis. Exemplified. It appears, however, Aegis he really does not like the Aegis shield. Let's try this again, Krylie. Thank you. Let me heal you before Ferris dies. It could have been anyone else. Ferris isn't even gonna get her next turn, I do believe. And there's no way to ward off a Doom. Here we go. The last attack Ferris is gonna get. And that was the last of my control inputs. We now have to have Berserkers kill him. The Berserkers have no chance. Butts is already the living dead. So it doesn't matter. As long as he doesn't cast lightning or holy, we can probably survive. Lena is going to be a problem, but there's nothing we can do about it. That's why the holy water is helpful. We could at least, you know, kill her officially. Instead, she's fortunately just being very stupid. She could attack anyone, I believe. And Vacuum Wave is not very helpful. We might pull this off, but without the... there goes Krylie. We needed to cast Blaze, X-Death if you could. If it would be a brother. If you could be a brother and cast a fire attack on Butts, that would be great. We would owe you. Oh. Or just keep attacking Lena. You know, a fire attack on Butts would be great. X-Death. It would be really good right now if you could be so kind. I don't care what it is, just any fire attack. Just a fire attack, not an ice attack, a fire attack, please. Please, X-Death, be a brother. Come on. Bro. Come on, Tree Man. Tree Dude. Oh, come on. We lost. It all came down to who he doomed. If he doomed anybody else but Butts, we could have survived that. We could have won. There's literally nothing we can do. We can't even silence him with the Mage Masher. But I am gonna put the Ice Shield. No. Notice how this room is silent. This is a bug in this game. The game is actually silent. I accidentally bugged out the sound. Don't worry. The next track will fix it. Anyway, blah blah blah. Just don't doom Ferris this time. Just make it Krylie, come on. Okay, he didn't even cast Doom this time. Excellent. We have a chance, we have a shot, we have a possibility of survival. He normally starts out by casting Doom. He also knows a spell called Level 3 Flare, which, as with most blue magics that have a thing in there saying like X does X level, if your level is a multiple of that, it will hit, otherwise it misses. Ironically, if you can learn that in this fight, X-Death is weak to level 3 Flare, for he is level 66. They did that on purpose, just as a teaser for your blue mages. If you learned this somewhere else, which I believe you can do, I just don't recall where, he's giving off an entirely additional set of moves, isn't he? Oh well. Now we have a fight, though. Now we have an actual fight on our hands. But, yeah, if you learned level 3 Flare elsewhere, you can just continue to attack him, and he's weak to it. Well, not weak to it, but you know the idea. You get the idea. These small things like that, like X-Death being weak against level 3 Flare, if you had a source of holy damage, he is actually weak against it. Which I'm not certain on World 2 if there is. I know there are sources of holy in World 1. Specifically a squirrel, for unknown reasons. Rangers, Beastmasters, can capture and then you have a source of holy, like before the library, because Biblios, remember him? He can be holied. Okay. Now, you see my vacuum wave is okay. He's starting to hit even faster. He's starting to double turn us. This is Exdeath's true form. He can now double turn. And it hurts a little. We just need to keep ourselves alive, which means we're further along than we were last time, which is very important. Also, Blizzard is useless. Basically, this is almost like the Gorilla fight, only much worse. Which is, he gets more and more turns the more you ramp him up, damage-wise. He's bad. Exdeath is bad. This is the boss of World 2, and you might think the end of the game. I keep mentioning World 3 because a 3-act structure, this is the ultimate. This is a suitable ending for this world. And once he gets to this point, he just starts casting those level 3 spells almost continually. Ooh. And what we really need, Lena, we need those sword dances. That's the only way we're going to get anywhere in this fight. If you could be so kind. Or he could just, be a... Remember how I was begging him to do that last time, but he just... No, he wanted lightning flavored. We beat Exdeath. He's dead. See how much smoother it goes when he doesn't cast Doom on the healer? Oops, we did it again. We did it anyway. We did exactly what Exdeath wanted us to do. The crystals, the metaphysical properties of this world, as well as the one we came from, they're all dead. The worlds, both of them, Galuf's, the world we came from, they're all dying. What have we done? Are we really heroes? Or are we secretly the villains? Welcome to World 3, where Castle Tycoon is somehow in the distance. We will explore that next time, tomorrow. Until then, this is Stomping Llama, and we'll see you then.